Sitting outside right now doing coffee with Shanda. Sorry, the lighting is awful and it's just dark, but check this out. Look at this. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful as the sun's coming up? Oh my God, that's just absolutely so beautiful. So, so with that, all that being said, I'm like sitting here freezing. The train's going by. I love it. I'm freezing here though because I know I don't live in like some of the cold places some of you guys live in, but I'm here in Southern California and it's darn cold right now outside at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I wanted to just start by saying the reason why I'm out on the patio freezing my little tushy off is I'm staying committed to you on Coffee with Shanda is because I've got a couple friends staying here and they're doing our leadership program and so they're going to have a long couple days here. So I jumped out on the patio. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I just have to keep showing you this. This is so beautiful. Isn't this beautiful? I'm like super grateful as I'm sitting here um, doing this live for you that I just am looking at this, beautiful sun coming up over the ocean. Okay, back to you. So I wanted to talk to you about your goals and your aspirations. And the reason why is because I think that sometimes you can, well, first of all, let me ask you, have you ever felt unpassionate about what you're doing? Like you wake up and you're like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And do I even want to keep doing it? You know what I mean? Like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And do I even want to keep doing it? Like, does it even inspire me anymore? And, I'll be truthful. There's been definitely times in my life that I have been less than inspired about what I'm doing, but there's been this drive inside of me that I just can't imagine doing anything else but coaching and coaching people how to grow their businesses and writing books about it. I wrote a book called Core Calling, which is really my entire step-by-step plan. You can get it on Amazon if you've never gotten it before, but it's literally what I teach my clients. And I'm not a great writer and I'm not any of that, but it is the steps and the formula. And so I can't imagine doing anything else. But it is this interesting relationship between you and your life. I mean, my biggest fear in life is that I don't experience absolute everything that is possible with my life. Like I can't imagine dying and having any sort of regret about maybe I could have grown hardcore bigger, maybe I could have helped more people, maybe I could have been a better mom, maybe I could like I don't want to have any of that inside me, which requires me and you, if that's even something that like pulls at you, or maybe you haven't even thought about it yet, but maybe you should start thinking about it. I mean, I've just had I mean, I'm sure you have too, but it's like I just have had so many people around me that their lives have been cut short. And so I'm very, very well aware. And I remind myself on a weekly basis, if not daily basis, that like my time on this planet is not guaranteed. And one of the things that as an entrepreneur that I feel so much passion around is growing my business. Some of you guys know that I had my second miscarriage, which still I have not miscarried yet. My body still thinks it's pregnant. And it's like I was talking to Michael Strasner, a really good friend of mine and somebody who also leads our leadership program. And he said, how are you? And I said, I'm actually okay. And he goes, it's because you don't have all your eggs in one basket. Like you have this incredible company that you love, these incredible clients that you love. Like he's known me for 15 years. And it's like, I don't just have one thing that lights me up in my life, so it's never like if something doesn't happen, it's like the rug's been pulled out from under me and I'm like feeling horrible, if that makes sense. It's like, I'm so connected with so much abundance around me, but I built it. Like I built it. Like I built my relationship with my husband. I've built my relationship with my son. Some of you guys might know that, like I've been reading Brendan Burchard's book, Performance Habits, and I'm almost done. I'm doing a book a month. Next month, I'm doing Blitz Scaling, which is about scaling your company to extraordinary levels. But the thing is that like why I read these books or why I constantly implement in my life even when it's hard to change a habit is because of wanting that edge to see what's possible with our lives. I mean, what's possible if you set goals and dreams that you actually reached that are completely illogical. like things that you should not be hitting those goals and aspirations. Like, what could your life look like? And they said something. Leanne, who ministered our church last week, she's the head of the church, or her and her husband, and she said something super powerful that I thought was profound. And she said, everybody's like, okay, my New Year's resolutions, I want a promotion in my job, or I want to triple my company or double my company, or I want to find the man of my dreams. God, I remember saying that one, like, I want to find my husband, and it's like we put these goals and aspirations down. But she said, are you the person who deserves the promotion? Like, and I was just like, that's such a great thing to think about. Like, are you marryable? Like, really? Like, if you're single, are you marryable? Or are you someone who's like, he's too short, too little, not my type, isn't like aligning to all my rules. Like, I want somebody who is Christian, because I'm Christian, and all the Christian guys, don't, show up the way I need them to. Like, it's like, that's not marryable. I mean, all you guys know this. If you're married, it's like, you got to work on your relationship with this other person, and your rules are not their rules, and you actually have to learn how to be in team. I mean, I can see many single people, and I mean this with love, by the way. This was just a huge, like, when I was listening to the minister speak, I was like, she is so right on. Like, if you want, I'll leave that single person alone for a second. If you want to double your company, or if you want to 4x your company, four times it, make it grow four times from last year, then are you the person that literally is able to hold that company at that size? And so one of the things that I ask myself as I'm growing my company is like, okay, is $1 billion business owner the person who's answering in Facebook groups every day? No, there's no way. She would have had to figure out a system that her clients have their answers quickly, in a way that supports her clients growing, right? Like, is, is a woman who is an entrepreneur, I'm just sharing some of my goals, is a woman who's an entrepreneur, um, you know, and married and has a child, is this woman, who want, like, so one of the things I really want with my husband is, we're really working, I shouldn't say it like this because it sounds like we don't have it, but we want more passion in our marriage. And this is a very vulnerable thing, obviously, to say, but I'm committed to being real online. We want more passion in our marriage, but I really want it to be like we have a really good marriage, and and we love each other deeply, and we laugh together. We have a great marriage, so I don't need 500 inbox messages around how to coach my marriage. We want, and I say that with respect, okay? I know people are trying to help, but just listen to what people say, right? So it's like, in order to approach somebody and land with them, you need to listen to what they say and match what it is that they want, versus just take the surface level of something and think that you know the answer. This is what entrepreneurs do all the time, and the reason why you feel pushy when you sell. You need to match. So I called my friend Melissa, and they have amazing marriage, and they do it by scripture. I want to take my marriage up a level, and so does my husband, based on scripture. So we have an extraordinary marriage, but we want it being more scripture based with passion, which means that, Shanda, and some of you ladies might not like this, we have to know our roles. And so, my husband, based on scripture, gets to have the final word. And that means that I get to back off things, that he gets to have the final word. And I know that doesn't sound very pro women's rights, but we did that building our house. I got the role of designing it and working with the designer, and he got the role of literally watching our budgets in the build and finding our builder. I didn't want the builder that he chose. I'm glad we chose him, because my husband is very analytical, and he was able to find us an amazing husband. But my point is that we knew our roles, and as we grow our life, we want to well establish our roles based on scripture. So we are going to go do a retreat for, scripture and relationships. And so I just share this with you because, you know, who you are based on where you want to go isn't always the same, isn't always the same, I guess. It's just like often we're not being the person that we need to be able to achieve that next goal. I'll give you another final example. Um, First of all, when you don't hit your goals and your dreams and the things that you set out, there's an underlining fear of not being able to trust that things are going to work out. Anybody ever felt that before? Right? Like just share with me, comment. Like if you've ever felt that you've ever somehow not trusted the space for a big goal or aspiration to happen, like comment, because people need to see it. They need to know that they're not alone. It's very normal when you set a big goal. The people who don't hit the goal don't trust either themselves, or they don't trust that things will work out for them to be able to create that result. And that's because it is truly in that moment all about you. You see, when you look at someone who really needs you and you know that you're the only person who can help that person, you will get out of your own way and you will create a miracle. With God, with spirit, you will create a miracle. And somehow you'll still get the rest of your life done. You'll still be a parent, you'll still be a business owner, you'll still get your workout in, or you'll get back on track. Like nothing will fall apart. But yet when we set these big goals and aspirations, we forget that, like, where these goals and aspirations are connecting to. They're connecting to something so much bigger than your gain. And so if you get caught in only looking at your gain, then what happens is that you lose a lot of the momentum and the really the supernatural power that can come into things just falling into place. And so when you look at all of this, like being wildly successful really depends on not only you working, but it depends on you believing that things work out for you. And so you have to build a case in your life where you believe that things should work out for you because you're even being the person that deserves it to work out for you. So, for instance, as an entrepreneur, I believe that you're working for definitely a higher power. I call it God. I believe it's God. It is a higher power. And so, with that, that means that you being emotionally triggered does not exactly line up for the big guy giving you a promotion, right? It doesn't line up. I mean, I wouldn't trust somebody with a higher promotion inside my business if they were emotionally charged. Like if they were emotionally charged with the team, with their husbands, with their wives, with their children, I would not give them a promotion ever. I would be like coaching them on their leadership so that they literally learned how to handle challenges a lot better so that I could trust them with more. Well, that's that higher power watching you on an everyday basis. Who are you being behind closed doors? Like my husband and I feel like the connection to the next growth in our life has to do with him and I, not with anything else. Right? So you've got to start taking apart, where you're not lining up to the next level and really putting in the effort to change you. So everything comes down to your leadership. And when you lead whatever you have now in a powerful way, then you will be given more. And then when you're given more, the way you deal with more, and by the way, that's every time you're basically I literally heard somebody online say this. I thought it was so smart. You're basically trading in problems as you grow your life. So you're trading in one problem for another problem. So if you look at problems, you're like, oh my freaking God. Like, really? Like, if that's your attitude towards it, then there's just no way that you're going to grow. There's no way. And if you do, you're going to end up back in the same place you were in because you have a system of thinking, you have a system of the way you lead, the experiences and the opportunities in your life that cause you to go back to square one. So, when I look at like even whoever you're coaching with, right? Like you might have a good coach, or you might have a shitty coach. If you don't have a coach, then you need to get a coach. Okay? Because community is something huge in scripture for you to be able to advance your life. You need a coach. Forget scripture for a second. Every successful person I know has mentors for almost everything they want to grow in their life, their relationships, everything. And everything I believe connects. When your relationship's working, your business is working. This is why when people have crappy relationships and they divorce or they leave them, all of a sudden their businesses skyrocket, right? But it's like not because you're not good in relationship, it's because you got rid of an emotional trigger that was uh, sacrificing and basically sabotaging your up level. And what I'm trying to tell you is the goal is not to remove the problems. The goal is to actually get better at dealing and leading these problems in your life so that you overcome them and trade them in for a new problem. And that's the whole game. So there's someone that I know that was coaching with Russell Brunson, who, by the way, is a great coach and a smart guy, and found himself, he's been with them for a long time, and 2 years ago, he found himself in a situation where he was closing his business. The model wasn't working. Some could say the coaching wasn't working, and basically found himself in a situation where he needed to shut down his business. And he started calling the people who'd purchased his business, purchased his services, and canceling the services. And what happened was a supernatural experience. The people he was canceling, his clients, and giving them their money back, and he was closing his company, working with an extraordinary coach. The people started saying to him, well, what if you just, instead of doing it for us, instead of operating like an agency, what if you just taught us how to do it? Why don't you just coach us into it? And he was like, yeah, I guess I could do that. And so he kept their investment and he started coaching them in how to do it. And then he started working with our traffic team, and they started, running his traffic and coming up with an application process. And he went from closing to, I think it was 20 million, or pretty close to 20 million, inside of a year. Now I'm paraphrasing. I'd have to find out exactly what that dollar amount, but it was that type of the supernatural growth. Closing your business to $20 million in a year, working with a good coach, just so. And the reason why I'm saying this is, like, first of all, there was a surrender that happened. A surrender that happened. He started going down a path and realized that people needed him. He took the good emotional prompt to give. He shifted out of his gain into giving the way that his audience wanted to be given to. And you had a quantum leap happen, a supernatural growth happen. And I've experienced this in everyone that has, like, massively grown their companies. And so what I see as a problem is people literally leave communities and leave coaches. Now, if you have a crappy coach, leave your coach. But they leave because they blame it on not getting what they need. And that's not always the case. Often you're getting what you need, but you're not being the person that lines up with that supernatural growth that God has in plan for you, right? So there is a plan for your life. And if it's not working, you're probably not solving the problems. And so if you cash in on the problems and say, you beat me, then you're not being the person that is going to have that supernatural growth. And so you can be Christian and be completely dedicated, or be into religion and be completely dedicated and not win. And not win. We see it all the time. So what is that about? Well, it's about the fact that somewhere you're having an emotional trigger that is not triggering you to grow, it's triggering you to retract. And so I just invite you to really study your leadership. Really study your leadership, because it is the number one thing that I see completely sabotages people from taking the grace of God, from taking the grace of their coach, from taking the grace of their community, and being able to massively serve on a level that I know they want to. I know you want to. I mean, nobody really doesn't want to grow their business or grow their life or grow their marriage or grow their parenting. Nobody doesn't want to be a more powerful person. And honestly, I don't think you really don't want the responsibility. You're afraid of it. And you're afraid of it Because behind closed doors, you are not the person that you need to be able to hit the mark that you want. By the way, that's all of us. So, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? What are you doing to be able to change the negative triggers into a positive prompt to be able to create the results that you want? Now, we push all of our clients through our HCL program, my leadership program. We push them all through. I mean, it is the stand that I take all over the place, because if you don't work your leadership and then stay in the work, then what happens is you regress. You regress. I am constantly working on my leadership, constantly. What is given to me and what is to come, and how do I deal with whatever thing that is triggering me now? And you can talk to my husband, you can direct message me, you can comment, you can ask me, what do I do and how do I deal with whatever challenge that you're having? I will go back for the next couple days on this thread and I will coach you. If you want to direct message me, you can do that too. But I will coach you on how to deal with a problem to uplevel your leadership if you allow me to see you. If you want to talk to me about our leadership program because you're like, I absolutely am ready to take myself on. It's not expensive. It does require you to be in San Diego, though. Then direct message me and say, I want to know about your leadership program. And then I can absolutely talk to you about it. But if you have a problem that you want me to just coach you on right now and you're not ready to take yourself on and eliminate whatever the trigger is and go into my leadership program, then just ask me the question and I will help you. I'm here for you. I will tell you that nothing will grow you quicker than learning how to cash in one problem for another and change your attitude about it. It all comes down to leadership. All right, you guys, I'll end on that. I will probably see you on this patio again at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning because I have guests in our leadership program, one from Canada and another one from North Carolina, that are staying at my house, two very good friends of mine. And then I also have our COO and our VP of sales and my executive assistant in this leadership program going in today, which I couldn't be more excited for them. Anyway, we walk the walk that we teach. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you soon. Tomorrow, we're going to get into it. It's going to be a great start to the day. So comment below, and I'll see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. California time. Bye.